Take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, the 28th of January, 2026. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo got you for the next 2 hours. We got Christian Cat behind the glass, as always, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm, ESPN South Florida, up till 6. 888-760-3776, number to get into the program. Got a couple things to talk about today. Big story of the cycle broke yesterday, actually, during the show, was Bill Belichick being left out of a first ballot Hall of Fame nomination for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He needed 40 out of 50 votes. He did not get that. He will be waiting a year as more information has come out. It turns out Bill Polian, former executive with the Bills and the Colts, was part of the guy who spearheaded the campaign against Bill Belichick amongst the voters. And as it turns out, with all this campaigning, it worked. And the whole gist of the theme was Deflategate, Spygate, all of the quote-unquote scandals that the Patriots and Bill Belichick were directly or indirectly involved with should force him to miss his first year of eligibility with the Hall of Fame. One of the more bizarre stories you could ever imagine in your life, because it's really akin to Phil Jackson not getting into the Basketball Hall of Fame his first year, or akin to, Michael Jordan missing out on his Hall of Fame induction the first year, or something along the lines of that. That level of excellence from a player, from a coach, from anybody in their respective sport, not getting into the Hall of Fame. Now, is he going to get in next year? Absolutely. Do the voters look like phonies? Absolutely. But the fact that he could even come to this, I think tells you a couple things before we get to it. Number one, it tells you how agenda-laden everything is. Everybody's got an agenda. Everybody's got a point that want to be proven. And bias is everybody's biased. That's it, right? Inherently or subtly, not so subtly, everybody's biased. They're biased off their own preconceived notions, experiences with this specific person. If this person has stepped on toes, you're going to have a tougher time getting in. That is just the nature of the situation. Do I think, Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame for Major League Baseball? Barry Bonds is a very difficult person to deal with. If you were ever with him, teammate, person who coached him, media, makes it more difficult. It's just the truth. Mm-hmm. And Belichick was difficult with the media. All coaches, other executives, his own owner, Robert Kraft, who maybe was involved with this, it didn't seem like they had the best of relationships with him, but he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. And they got their wish, Bill Polian and his goons.
This is what's wrong with any Hall of Fame, really. I mean, the bias that comes with it. We're part of the media, and I'm sitting here and I'm telling you guys it's wrong just because someone's maybe not the best to the media. That doesn't mean they don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Or their personal relationships,
correct.
Really.
Bill Belichick has 31 playoff wins. He has 6 Super Bowls. It's the most in NFL history out of any coach.
And he has 2 as a coordinator.
Yeah.
2 as a coordinator.
And any coach. 31 wins in the playoffs. The next closest person is Andy Reid, okay, who might get it if he still coaches. But you get what I'm saying. All the accolades are there. Everything is there. And spare me with, this was retaliation to Spygate. This was retaliation to Deflategate. If that's the case, I want the same energy for any of the people that were involved on those Patriots teams.
Brady.
Perfect example. We're going
to hold Brady out of the Hall of Fame?
Greatest quarterback ever.
And you have to. Off of principle. Wait a second.
Right.
Now you're doing this to Bill Belichick. Why wouldn't you do it to Brady?
Right. And
Brady was the one suspended.
There's so many things wrong with this. And listen, I know a lot of people that don't like Coach Belichick for all those reasons that I just listed. You got to sit back and look at it objectively. I think the two, if we want to talk about greatest coaches of all time, my 2 guys are Belichick and probably the great Don Shula. If you want to go back as the great Papa Bear George Halas, I think 50% of our listener audience says, who the hell Papa Bear is. So it's like, recency. The recency of it, too. We're coming off of 2 different dynasties that Bill Belichick was a part of with the Patriots. Same thing with Tom. I mean, it was him and Tom. What were the 2 consistent things during those 2 dynasties? It was him and Tom Brady. They were able to win 3 Super Bowls separated by, 8 years, 7 years, 8 years? It's incredible. We'll never see it again. I don't think we'll ever see it again. The only team that can maybe do it is Mahomes and the Chiefs, who got some serious retooling to do if they want to come close to 2 different dynasties in basically one era. Colin, loss of words. A number of reasons why I'm at a loss of words today in the sports world. But certainly yesterday when we got this news towards the tail end of Russo and Rizzo, you and I both looked at each other, and I didn't believe you. If you go at our social media, our digital, what's Cade's official role? I get this wrong all the time.
Digital content specialist.
Thank you. Cade did a great job with our short. I looked at you and what? Go and look at it. ESPN West Palm. I was shocked. I did not know how to react. And I think that if it was Bill Polian, and listen, we all...
It was.
It's a, absolute joke. Bill Polian was upset that he kicked the Colts' butt for a number of years. Like, I don't know. Personal vendettas is the way I look at it. Deflategate, right? That was against the Colts and Andrew Luck. I don't know if Polian was still... I'm shooting from the hip here.
I don't think he was. 2011 he was
I'm
done.
shooting
But
from
still,
the hip here. But
all those years with the Colts did absolutely nothing.
Okay, so your personal vendetta is going to get in the way of the winningest coach of all time in the playoffs and the winningest coach when it comes to the number of Lombardis I was raised. I'm down on Bill Polian. I'm down on Bill Polian.
Now, another thing to be considered is Robert Kraft is going to get in next year. And he should have been in a long time ago, but Robert Kraft and Belichick famously do not have a good relationship with each other. And Robert Kraft and Bill Polian have a very good relationship with each other. You think there's any politics in regard to how Kraft saying, I don't want to be inducted the same year as Bill?
Maybe. And I think maybe some of this has to do with, remember we saw the report of Belichick closing the doors to any scout that had anything to do with the Patriots at North Carolina. So pettiness is definitely there. I think, wasn't there something, Kyle, when Tom Brady got his statue? I think there was some drama there with Belichick showing up. Was he going to be in the building? Certainly him and Kraft did not end on good terms. And I think the NFL has blacklisted him a little bit, going back to when teams needed head coaches. Remember, there were rumors that Belichick could possibly go to Atlanta. I think all the owners basically came together and said, hey, and I'm shooting from the hip here. I'm completely speculating. None of this is reported. But from what I saw, it seemed like Bill Belichick was blacklisted a little bit the last cycle, the last big cycle when teams needed head coaches. I'm going to say it again, personal vendettas, and it's wrong.
Does this invalidate the Hall of Fame to you?
I'm down on the Hall of Fame for a number, for all of these. Listen, you want to know, let me put it in perspective, all right? I thought the NFL Hall of Fame, comparatively to the other two big ones in NBA and MLB, was probably the best one out of all of them. The NBA, they let anybody in, right? The NBA, they let way too many people in. Baseball, talk about holding vendettas and holding grudges. I mean, they're the worst. Those people are the worst. And then NFL, I thought, was a steady dose of kind of in the middle and who probably does things the right way more than any other two. This situation has me tremendously down on it. This situation makes me think more of the NFL Hall of Fame like the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't care what the hell Bill did, all right? I don't care what he did. He deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no scenario you could come up with to me that makes Bill Belichick not a first ballot. And the only thing you could do is the quote-unquote cheating. And if we're going to do it for him, you're right. Colin, you were 100% right when you said you better do it for Brady if you're going to do it for the coach.
You got to stay on that hill. And you know what my big problem was with the Hall of Fames too? It has to be public. You want to vote? You want that luxury?
We want to know that you're the guy who held them out.
That's it. You got to make it public. We know who the voters are. We don't know what their votes were. Got to make everything public. I think it has to be as transparent as possible. And if you want to be involved in it, if you don't want your vote to be known, fine. Don't do it. There'll be somebody else that's glad to take your spot. But if you want to vote somebody in or out and risk whatever you want to call it, risking relationships, we're making objective calls here.
Yep.
You got to make it public. We got to find out who those 10 to 12 people, whoever it was, were that did not vote him in.
Well, let me add another layer to this, too. Talk about longevity. Someone who's been in the league for arguably 4 decades. His time as a coordinator. You mentioned post-Cleveland. Go back to the Cleveland teams who honestly were pretty decent under Bill Belichick. The guy coached 467 games. 467 games, that's third all time.
16 away from the all-time wins record.
It's third all time. I cannot take this serious when I see these reports of Belichick not getting in. Listen, I like Bill. That's my personal opinion. There are a ton of people who don't like Bill Belichick and are screaming into a microphone today saying how wrong this is. You got to look at these things objectively and not let, listen, Bill Polian's boys club get in the way. For all intents and purposes, I'm going to call that a boys club because they clearly have something against Bill. If it's, as we mentioned already, don't want to, beat it into the ground, but like Napoleon did not have a lot of success against those Patriot teams. And I could only sit here and imagine that is the reason why. And he was the ringleader around all of this.
And to be ultra bitter about how the Patriots did things. And I understand Spygate and Deflategate are blemishes. They're blemishes.
They're bitter old
but
men.
They won countless titles without those situations, right?
Yeah.
And I know it circles back. All right, what level of cheating do we deem too much cheating in order to forego somebody's Hall of Fame candidacy? It was never in question that Brady or Bill's or even Kraft's Hall of Fame candidacy were to be tarnished because of those situations.
Let me say this too, because where are the Patriots? What game are they playing in a month? They're in the Super Bowl. You think that Mr. Kraft would be able to get over this by now? Are people? I don't want to say forgive and forget, but you think time would heal some things. You're in the Super Bowl. You got Mike Vrabel, arguably one of the, who is one of the best coaches on the market last year. In his first year, you go to a Super Bowl, and it seems like you have your quarterback for the future with Drake May. You think that Mr. Kraft might be over this stuff by now. And dare I say be thankful, right? Dare I say be thankful what Coach Belichick did for you for almost 3 decades. For almost 3 decades, he was head coach and GM. He drafted the players for his system, and he made it work. Did he have McDaniels and his guys on offense? Fine. But he did everything. The guy did everything for you for 3. You had the luxury as an owner. How many of these owners would want this? You think some miserable owners in football would want some guy who can handle everything and you're winning Super Bowl? Robert Kraft did not have to worry about the football team for 25 years. Nobody does. No owner does that. There's no owner that has had the luxury of doing that in recent memory, maybe outside of the Rooney family with Chuck Noll, right? Am I wrong here? You think there'd be some sense of thankfulness from Mr. Kraft instead of still being bitter about something that happened almost 5 years ago now?
888-760-3776, number to get into the program. Does Bill Belichick not getting in first ballot invalidate the Hall of Fame to you? Is it fair that he is perhaps being punished for Deflategate and or Spygate? Let us know. 888-760-3776, number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo.
And I am interested because we have a lot of Dolphin fans in the area who hate the Patriots, right? But I think Dolphin fans could look at this objectively and go, he's the best of all time.
Right. How can you convince yourself? Truly. I mean, first ballot means something. That means something. That is a standard above being a Hall of Famer. Being a first, and especially in baseball, being a first ballot Hall of Famer is of the utmost of respect that you could possibly get in order for your candidacy. It's true. And it separates Hall of Famers from first ballot Hall of Famers. Is it that important to Belichick in the grand scheme of things that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer? I don't know. I'd be curious to see what he thinks about it. I'm sure he's disappointed. I'm sure
bitter,
he's a little.
I think he's
but
bitter.
I wouldn't say that it doesn't invalidate anything he's done in his career. It doesn't invalidate anything he's done post-career. And honestly, I don't think a Patriot fan is going to think of him any differently, right?
No, I don't think Patriot fan does.
If anything,
I don't think they do.
All this does is causes a storm back on the committee of the Hall of Fame. And it's more of a crap storm for them than it ever could be for Belichick.
As far as I'm concerned, Bill should have had his statue right next to Tom. Bill should have had a statue right next to Tom's statue. Listen, I know the position we all look at. The position we all look at in football is quarterback. But who drafted Tom Brady in the 6th round? Who went to Tom Brady when Drew Bledsoe wasn't pulling his weight anymore? That was a big moment. Colin, that was a big moment in history. Pulling a guy like Bledsoe and going to a guy in Tom Brady, for all intents and purposes, who failed in college at Michigan.
All this does is create that crap storm for the committee or the selection committee. 888-760-3776. Is there validity to the fact that Belichick has to wait a year, so to speak? Or does this invalidate the entire NFL Hall of Fame to you? Let's start in West Palm Beach. Mike in West Palm Beach joins the program now. Mike, welcome in. How you doing today? What's going on?
Thank you, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Just got one thing to say. Anybody talk to Bill Belichick about this?
I have not personally, but I know the reports did say he was disappointed and a little, that's the word that was thrown around. But I don't know. I didn't see anything specific.
I'm sure I'm neither a Belichick nor a Brady fan. I'm a big Dolphins fan, but let's give the guy due credit. Come on. He probably had his hoodie on and just shrugged his shoulders and said, okay, I'll get it next time.
Good call. Mike said,
Thanks, Mike.
Maybe he doesn't care. You think there's any truth to that?
No, he cares. Come on. We know Bill. He cares. And as he should. He has been disserviced.
Here's the thing.
He has been disrespected. Disrespected.
There's a persona that Bill puts on to the media that, we're about the football game. That's all we're about. We're about the football game. Football, winning.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Now it's about credibility. And there's a reason that him and Brady allegedly had their issues post-split because you didn't know whether to give Bill more credit or Tom more credit. Bill had all those great defenses. Tom was the beneficiary of some great defenses and some great defensive plays when they were winning Super Bowls. Brady goes to the Bucs, wins one without Bill. That hurts the legacy of either side in terms of that. And then, of course, him and Robert Kraft. If all he cared about was just winning football games and he was sort of a robot in that regard, I don't know if the relationships would be that strained. Yeah. I don't know if him and the Patriots would be that strained. I don't know if him and the Krafts would be that strained. And I don't know enough about him and Brady's relationship, but my interpretation is it's not superb.
Tom came out and said that it was wrong.
Yeah.
He came out and said it was wrong today. So, listen, yeah, of course it's wrong. Tom's, a sharp enough guy to realize the coach who gave him an opportunity of a lifetime should be in the Hall of Fame.
He's almost unanimously viewed now amongst the eyes of the public because of this situation as a first ballot Hall of Famer or that first all-team ever snub. And I think that honestly, in a weird way, it helps his legacy because now it's sort of everything coming back to the forefront about how great he is.
Let me ask you this, too. Who drafted Mike Vrabel? Who did Mike Vrabel play for?
How many guys came through his system?
You think Mike Vrabel learned anything from playing for Coach Belichick for almost over a decade? Again, this goes back for me to Robert Kraft. If the reports are out there about Polian, but like you asked me about Mr. Kraft too. I think he's
definitely has something.
Definitely a hand involved, dude. Definitely has some puppet strings behind. And is it because now if Belichick gets in next year, Kyle?
He will.
Will he get in?
The idea was making him wait a year.
Will he get in with Kraft?
I believe next year is going to be Kraft's years of induction, like this coming year.
So it's going to be Belichick and Kraft,
It'll be
arguably.
Kraft first. It'll be Kraft first.
Maybe that's why.
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah. And I'm sorry if that's the point you were trying to make.
Kraft said, I didn't. Maybe Kraft told them, I don't want to get inducted with Bill.
And I'm sorry if that was the point you were trying to make. I just caught up on that.
Give this speech together.
Right.
I don't know if he wants to do that.
Yeah. It's wrong. It's dead wrong.
It's so dead obvious, and the politics of it all is just so laughable and ugly and gross. And for a sport where it's supposed to really unify at its core, and you're just supposed to honor the historics of it all. There's a reason that so many guys of the old days who some might argue are not as great in comparison to the players we see today. There's a reason that they're honored. There's a reason that stadiums and fields and practice facilities are named after former players and coaches and executives from the old days. It's because you're supposed to honor history a little bit. This is a moment where you're supposed to honor history. Belichick is not an asterisk coach. Is there situations in which Belichick shouldn't have done? Yes. But when you're winning for that much, for that long, things tend to happen. This is not the Astros cheating scandal, in my opinion. This is not.
I can't believe I'm going to say this just because how much and listen, I like Bill. I've said that already, but I sports hate the Patriots, and I can't believe I'm about to say it, but I actually feel bad for Mr. Belichick. I feel bad because Tom.
Part of me agrees with what Mike in West Palm did say about, he's just shrug his shoulders. If anything, this helps my legacy because I'm not on the forefront of everybody's mind.
Hear me out for this. Hear me out on this, Kyle. Tom leaves, wins the championship. Ends ugly with the Patriots. He's not on speaking terms with the owner who he gave everything to for 3 decades.
Doesn't get a job.
Gets, in my opinion, like I said, I'm shooting from the hip here. In my opinion, got blacklisted by the NFL. Misses out on the Hall of Fame. Hang on. Patriots go to the Super Bowl without him, with one of his former players who played for him for a decade, Mike Vrabel. And now isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer after having the most Super Bowl wins and most playoff wins in history. How about having
a treacherous first season with the UNC? And having the girlfriend, 25 years old, everybody critiquing that every 5 seconds. Yeah. It's had a rough year.
It really has, man. A rough 2 years. 5 years. When did Brady win? You know what I mean? That's when people start. Because remember, people were saying Belichick's kind of taking the victory out because he went to the playoffs with Mac Jones. And then I believe the year after, or that same year, Brady won the Super Bowl with Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay.
Right.
And that's really when the narrative started to shift.
Yeah.
If there is a narrative. Me personally, I don't think it is a narrative.
Last 2 years, ever since he announced his retirement, around that same period when Saban did, and he was gone, and then Gerard Mayo, and then we wait a year, and then UNC happens. Belichick's had a rough year. But if anything, if there is an adverse effect to this all, I do think that this helps his legacy in some capacity because he will always be known as the greatest coach of all time who sort of exposed the politics of the voters. Yeah. And it's always been a thing. It's always been a subtle secret, but the politics of the voters are very obvious now. And maybe, I don't know if it will, maybe I'm being way too optimistic about it. Maybe this changes things. Maybe you have to make these votes public. Maybe you do a regulation cycle in terms of getting guys in and out as Hall of Fame voters. Couple of years in, couple of years out.
I think you were dead right when you said, let's see the guys who didn't vote for him.
Make it public.
I think that's how you fix it.
If you want to be a Hall of Fame voter, make it public.
I think it's that easy because you're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to wear that, and people are going to know you were the one guy who left Belichick off the list.
Right.
Or group of individuals led by the ringleader, Bill Bullion.
Because at the end of the day, it's sports, but there needs to be some accountability with that. You need to show some heart. You need to put it out there.
These are angry old men. I mean, that's what this is.
Bitter.
Angry.
Bitter. It's about power.
Angry.
It's about power. They don't want to give Bill the power. The power of a first ballot Hall of Famer.
It's a bad look.
Terrible look. 888-760-3776. Number to get into the program. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. Go ahead, Christian.
I have a question for Mike Rizzo.
Okay.
Not talking first ballot, talking Hall of Fame. Is Jim Harbaugh a college football Hall of Famer?
It's a tough one. It's a very similar situation.
Because the only reason he got year he got over the hump was the cheating year.
Yeah, I've said multiple times on this program, the reason they were able to get the momentum to 2023, for the record, they did not cheat during 2023.
Pardon.
Jim Harbaugh. He did not cheat during 2023, but the years leading up to that where they were a big reason why they were able to have so much juice with that roster to win. Oh, God. My Buckeye fans would be very upset with me. I would still probably put him in. I would probably put him in.
That's a tricky situation.
And the thing is,
he doesn't even have nearly the prestige of Belichick either for college football.
And partner, if I can, he is currently right now suspended from he can't step on a college football field and I'm shooting from the hip here. I think it's like 8 to 10 years, for like a decade.
Yeah, right.
He's banned from college football for like a decade.
He left college football
so
with the impression that he's never coming back.
Right. And I don't know. It'd be up to the NCAA, which we know is, and it hurts me to say this, is like a dying entity. It'd be up for the NCAA to look past what he did. Guys, that cheating scandal was not on the level of Astros. I mean,
no, it wasn't.
In my personal opinion, like I said, you guys know my allegiances. Hear me out, because the TCU game, I think, really put that on display. That was a good Michigan team. They had a lot of good players, but they relied on that system too much. And lo and behold, look what happened to TCU the next round. That was the same Michigan team that beat Ohio State that year. The Buckeyes took Georgia down to the buzzer.
Yep.
And then the team that beat Michigan in the semifinal got lambasted in the final. I rest my case.
They were a year later. That's when they sort of all put it together.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. They stopped cheating. They stopped relying on signs.
888-760-3776, number to get into the program. Aaron in West Palm joins the program now. Aaron, welcome in. What's going on? What's on your mind?
Hey, guys. I'm just thinking about Belichick, and I'm comparing him to the old-time coach, one of the greats, Pop Warner.
Sure.
Turn of the century, he revolutionized the game. A lot of people thought he was a cheater. He just started doing things they had to make rules to stop. And we name our little leagues after him. So another good revolutionizing the game can be misunderstood.
Do you think? Well, hold on. Well, we can't say that Bill Belichick was revolutionizing the game by doing Deflategate, right, Aaron?
No, that's true. But I mean, I guess in the spirit of a guy like Pop Warner, or the spirit of a guy that's just trying as hard as he can to win, yeah, he cheated, but there's a lot of things that he did in the secondary that they had to make rules to change, because Belichick's, blocking guys in the secondary, winning games because of it. I'm not trying to excuse Belichick's, conduct, but at the same time, a guy that's maybe
his resume speaks larger than the blemishes.
Yeah. Well said.
Appreciate it, Aaron.
Thank you,
Aaron.
Thank
you for the call.
And I think maybe another layer to that. what do we judge these coaches and the coaches and quarterbacks? What do they get judged on? Playoff wins and Super Bowl championships.
And nobody's better than Belichick.
Nobody's better than Bill on that. Brandon brings up a good thing in the YouTube chat. Folks, you could contact the show a lot of ways. 888-760-3776 on the phone and on the YouTube chat at ESPN South Florida. We are streaming live. Brandon goes, question, fellas. Did the league not already punish them? And now the voters are playing God/judge against Belichick on what they personally think should have been done and have a clear bias.
That's the point.
Yeah, so did they already pay the due diligence, the people who were involved in Deflategate, not just Bill, everybody who is involved in Deflategate, etc. Did they already pay the price?
But to add on to this, that's not the only Hall of Fame committee that does that. So keep that in mind. Baseball Hall of Fame does that themselves. And there are guys who, there are a number of guys who weren't even caught using steroids and they were held out of the Hall of Fame. There's, I wouldn't say a level of politics to that, but there's a level of biases that come in when they make these decisions. But I don't think, hey, is Brady not a Hall of Famer? Is he? If he is, then Bill is. If Brady's going to be first ballot, I don't think anybody can sit here and capably argue that Tom Brady is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And if he is, then Bill is. Because their careers are lockstep. And if the Spygate and the Deflategate was a problem to Bill, then it's a problem to Tom. Because Tom was just as involved, especially on Deflategate. Tom's the one who got suspended.
Yep.
So if we're going to call it there, then get ready for Brady to be a second ballot Hall of Famer. And if he's not, then the politics of that lackluster voting committee, once again, needs to be more transparent. Mike Rizzo, Colin, Russo, Christian Cat, 888-760-3776. Number to get into the program. We'll take a time out here. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
The 4 p.m. hour on ESPN 106.3 is served by the Delray Beach Open. 140 miles per hour aces, parties, and all the good vibes. Get your tickets today at DelrayBeachOpen.com.
Hey, it's Tina. Okay, let's be real. When you need tires or a battery, you want someone you can actually trust, right? That's why I go to St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been keeping South Florida moving for over 50 years, and they're still family-owned. They've got all the big tire brands, plus batteries for pretty much everything. Their best price out the door guarantee means you know you're getting the best deal. So next time your car needs something, don't stress. Just go to St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. Trust me, they've got you covered.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 27 national championships, including their 3rd championship in women's soccer. Visit KUCHawks.com for the latest on the championship athletic programs at Kaiser University.
When the goal is the next level, preparation matters. IMG Academy helps student athletes build the skills and confidence to get there with immersive sports camps, a nationally recognized boarding school, and college recruiting resources. Start your preparation with IMG Academy.
Hi, I'm Janice Ridenour from J. Zello & Associates. For nearly 30 years, my firm has worked alongside business owners and their teams, helping them truly understand QuickBooks with clear accounting guidance, proven workflows, and hands-on training. We offer customized QuickBooks Online training delivered in a supportive, judgment-free environment so you can learn at your pace. If you're stressed about your books, you don't have to be. Get trained, get confident, get it right. And when you need ongoing support or you'd rather have it done for you, our experienced team is here to help. Visit jzolo.com and schedule your free consultation today.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful Defender 110 P300S for just $849 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, go down the Hard Rock Bet app and you can bet on just about any game, anytime, any league, any place. That's Hard Rock Bet. Go down on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Go game by game, go player by player. Player props, they have it. Profit boosts and promos all throughout the sports season, they got it. You can bet college basketball game by game, NBA game by game. MLB futures time is coming up in just about a month. So Mike and I are going to be making our picks there. We're still tracking the Brooklyn Nets 20.5 wins. Tough spot there.
My brother said, my brother Joe, by the way, said we're better off burning our $20.
He's wrong.
He's dead wrong.
He's
wrong. Dead wrong.
He's wrong. But what he is right on is betting on the futures. Go do it on the Hard Rock Bet app. Put just $5 into the app. Win that first $5 bet. You get $150 in bonus bets immediately deposited into your account. That is the fun of it. That is Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in front of the wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. So Bill Belichick, no, not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I think everybody collectively is fairly livid about it. And only 5 coaches have been elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first ballot. That is Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, and then George Halas and Curly Lambeau in the opening ones. So how about that for a couple? And Vince Lombardi was not first ballot. Paul Brown was not first ballot. Jimmy Johnson was inducted, but not first ballot. So very interesting to see that the Hall of Fame, I guess the first ballot on the coaching side.
Give me those. Can you give me those names one more time, brother?
The names that were first ballot?
Or that didn't make it. Did you say Jimmy Johnson?
Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, who else? Jimmy Johnson.
Lombardi. Paul Brown,
which is a joke. Biased.
Bill Walsh.
They didn't make it on the first ballot.
First ballot.
That's a joke.
The first ballot guys were George Halas, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Don Shula.
So this has been a thing. Good on you. I was about to ask you last segment, can we compare this to anything? I think a lot of Vince Lombardi, a pioneer of the NFL. Paul Brown, the first guy who put the radios in the helmet in what, the 60s. I mean, these are pioneers of the sport who are being denied the Hall of Fame. That's a joke. So this has been a thing.
I mean, yeah, Tom Landry coached the Cowboys for 30 years. Chuck Noll's got 4 Super Bowl, and Don Shula undefeated. I mean, come on. But it is bizarre. You know, Lombardi, I don't know how he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer with the amount he has done. And he's somebody who, probably would have coached longer if his health allowed for it. But Paul Brown, Bill Walsh, Jimmy Johnson, multi-time champions, architects of dynasties, and not first ballot Hall of Famers. That's very bizarre. For Joe Gibbs, who's not elected on the first ballot, even though he has 3 Super Bowl championships. Jeez, Bill Parcells had to wait despite winning 2 Super Bowls. Who would have thought that the NFL Hall of Fame to be a coach, first ballot, is the toughest ticket in Hollywood?
Yeah.
How about that? But so how about this? George Halas and Curly Lambeau were in the inaugural class. Only 3 coaches have gotten it straight up on their first ballot.
And give me those 3 again.
Shula, Landry, and Noll.
And
that is it.
And in my personal opinion, like I said, you could argue Shula with me, but Bill's better than all 3. And I'm
not
sorry.
Even a question.
And I'm sorry if
I think he's a better coach than Shula as well.
I'm sorry if we got some older generation football fans listening who disagree, but everything now is about playoff wins and Super Bowls, and nobody touches Bill. 2 different decades, too.
And he survived multiple dynasties.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, gosh.
Colin, 2 decades of going on a dynasty. You won 3.
And here's the thing.
And then you win 3 more.
All those other coaches, they didn't have Brady. Well, they had Roger Staubach. Yeah. They had Terry Bradshaw. Yep. I mean, come on.
And then I apologize. My age is showing. Shula coached Marino, correct?
Yeah, and
didn't win.
And Unitas.
And hang on. Shula coached Marino and didn't
What
win
was
with
those last years? I'd have to double
But
check.
yeah, like I said, our age is showing. But
last year, because he was with the Colts right after the 5th Super Bowl, which he did not get. That was McCaffrey who got that. And but Shula has the all-time wins record, so it's just not even a consideration.
Yeah,
he was done. Yeah, in early '90s, mid '90s, excuse me. '95 was his last year.
Yeah, so he had to have coached
Marino's whole career.
And well, do you think that it is that? Listen, I'm not trying to slander Shula. I just got done telling you he's the only guy they give compared to him, but he didn't win with arguably one of the best quarterbacks of our time.
And he's only one
all time. Dan Marino. My father will tell you he's one of the best of all time.
2 Super Bowls. But he has the all-time wins record. I mean, Shula's
and the
first
undefeated
ballot.
season.
First ballot, undefeated. And
that's the thing.
Back-to-back
And how about
Super Bowls.
that? Can we focus on that for a second?
Go ahead.
The best team in NFL history didn't even win the Super Bowl. That's my bold take. Dude, that team, was it Kyle, 07, 08, with the first Giants Super Bowl win? That was the best team, in my opinion, that I've ever seen on a football field, and they didn't even win. Brady and Moss that year were unstoppable. They were unstoppable.
Best
the
underdog
entire
win
year.
in the NFL, in the history of the NFL.
In the history of the league. The Brandon Jacobs toughest 1 yard, the David Tyree catch.
Yeah, no doubt. 888-760-3776. How about that? Only 3 coaches in the history of the National Football League have gotten in technically on their first ballot. Curly Lambeau and George Halas got it just by in the inaugural class. But outside of that, it has only been Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, and Don Shula. Go to the phone lines, 888-760-3776. We go to Riviera Beach. Leo in Riviera Beach joins now. Leo, hello. How are you? What's going on?
What's going on, Leo?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. It's an absolute travesty. I'm a diehard Dolphins fan. It's an absolute travesty that Bill Belichick didn't make it on the first ballot. Whatever qualms they had, the voters had, they need their vote revoked because at this point, like you guys were saying, Shula, he had the undefeated season. They won the 2 Super Bowls, went to 5 Super Bowls as a Dolphins coach. And the knock on Shula in his later years was that he didn't evolve his defense, and they never really got a defense when Marino was there. The last Super Bowl they went to before Marino, they had a good defense, but then he never really reloaded the defense. So Belichick, by far and away, one of the greatest tacticians. I know I've heard on other shows today, one of the greatest historians. That's something I didn't even know about Belichick, but one of the greatest tacticians when it came down to game planning, making adjustments, making the right game decisions, knowing the rule book. I mean, how many times do we see Belichick have a smirk on his face because he knew the rule book better than the other coach? It's just one of those things where it's an absolute travesty. It's worse, I think, than not getting Pete Rose in the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's one of those things where it'd be like Michael Jordan not getting in first ballot Hall of Fame for the NBA, or somebody like Phil Jackson with 11 championships not getting in the first ballot. It's just insane to me. And even as a Dolphins fan, I hated him with every fiber in my being, but I respected him with every fiber in my being. Same for Tom Brady. Just a heck of a football player and heck of a football coach Bill Belichick was.
Appreciate the call.
Well said. Well said.
Everybody respects it. It's not like it's not a huge it's blemished, but it's not a huge blemish. It's not nobody brings it up when they talk about Brady. If that's the case, don't bring it up when you talk about Belichick. Really quickly before we get to the other phone lines, defensive points ranking for Bill Belichick's tenure. So that's essentially from 2000 with the Patriots. That is from 2000 to 2023. Their points ranking throughout those years, and Belichick was the tactician of that defense, as Leo said. We're talking about the first 3 years, 17, 6, and 17. Then from there, the number 1 ranked defense points against, number 2, then to 17, but then back 2, 4, 8, 5, 8, 15, middle of the pack, 9, 10, 8, 10. Then we get into the second dynasty where it's 1, 5, 7, 1, 7, 2.
He's got stats to back it up.
They never had a bottom half.
He's got stats to back it up. He's got playoff wins to back it up. He's got rings to back it up. He needs another hand for the rings. He's got more rings than every NFL team not named the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nothing to do with Brady. has to do with special teams, which he's great at, and defense.
He could show up to those ridiculous banquets and go, I got more than you, I got more than you, I got more than to 30 other teams. 31 other teams that's not named the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me a break. This is a joke.
888-760-3776. Steve-O in Palm Beach Gardens joins us now. Steve-O, hello. What's going on?
How you doing, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
What's up? What's on your mind?
So let me preface this similar to the last caller. I have been a lifelong Belichick hater. I'm a Dolphins fan as well, unfortunately, right now. But,
Yeah.
One of the things that I've thought about, so I've been in the car going to work this morning and now going home, and this is essentially what I've heard the conversation or the topic of conversation be, which to me, it's ironic in a way. And I, being a Patriots hater all those years, will be the first one to say that Belichick belongs in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. But what's funny to me, in hearing all this is we wouldn't be having these conversations and talking about Bill Belichick and giving him this publicity right now if it weren't for the fact that, Bill Polian or whoever these unnamed people are on the Hall of Fame committee chose to do this. And ironically, we're giving him this much more publicity, and I think the overwhelming majority, and you guys said this earlier, are livid about this, and people like myself who can't stand Bill Belichick, but am calling a radio show to voice my support for someone that I hated all those years because of the respect I have for him and the reason he should be on the first ballot Hall of Famer. And all those guys who made the decision to put him in this position of making him wait a year, whatever, the petty point was that they were trying to make, they're the ones getting all the backlash and trashed on the radio all over the nation right now. And so I just find that ironic that, they had this goal to teach him a lesson, and they're the ones, in essence, paying for it right now on the radio.
Now, Steve-O, you're under the impression, as a Dolphin fan, you almost pity Belichick to a degree. Does this make you think a little higher of Bill Belichick comparatively to the hatred that you had of him as a competitive
It's a
adversary?
Dolphin fan. It's a Dolphin fan.
As an adversary.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, I despised him, respected him, and this is, taking into account Spygate, Deflategate, and, the things that, people, especially at that time, argued would tarnish his legacy. But I'm taking that into account and would hold every blemish possible against him and the Patriots as a dynasty, just because I do despise them as an organization. But, all that being said, it's still unquestionable that he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's, one of, if not the best to ever do it in the sport. And so, I find it ironic that I'm taking time to call to voice my support for someone that I do despise because of the point that these guys on the committee were trying to make. And it just, in that light, to me, it's completely backfired on them. And I just find that funny.
Appreciate the call, Steve-O.
Thanks, Steve-O.
That's sort of like the point we were talking about before. It almost helps his legacy in the grand scope of those who look at Bill Belichick's career. Not only would we not be talking about Bill Belichick's career to the point in which we are today if he had got in first ballot, but we're also sitting here having adversaries of Bill Belichick's teams who despise the Patriots. I can't stand the Patriots. Mike can't stand the Patriots. But now we're sitting here saying, listen, you can hate them, but you got to respect it.
Right.
Because at the very least, even if you thought Deflategate and Spygate were apprehensible, they outperformed those blemishes.
And I give you credit, Kyle, for finding the three head coaches who were first ballot and Tom Landry, Don Shula, and Chuck Noll. He's better in all three in my eyes. And I think in your eyes and in Christian's eyes.
888-760-3776, number to get into the program. We go to Loxahatchee. Callahan and Loxahatchee joins us now. Callahan, welcome in. What's going on?
What's going on, Cal?
Hey, I apologize for last. I was at happy hour. But look here, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I say, hey, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I say the man should have got elected in despite the fact that you got 3 Super Bowls they won. I mean, the Tuck rule, the Raiders should have got that. I mean, Deflategate, and but the man should have got in no matter the blemishes because despite Brady, the man knows what he's doing. All because he doesn't want to talk to the press. You can't hold that against him. All because of a couple mistakes, but the man is the greatest, man.
Not even a consideration. 100%.
And I'm a Dolphin. I'm a Dolphin, and I agree with both of what y'all are saying.
Now, Cal, what was the drink at happy hour?
Oh man, hey, that Tangeray and hey, I don't want to get into all that. But back to that, hey, Russo.
Yeah.
Hey, tell him to bring out the shield, man. Tell him to bring out the Captain America.
Yeah, he loved
That's
that.
Mike. Mike's trying to be a hero.
Hang on. Callahan, I
Mike's
prefer.
trying to be a
Hang
hero.
on. Callahan, to be fair, I prefer a lightsaber. Is that okay?
I'm a Star Wars fan. Lightsaber, Obi-Wan, baby.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the call.
Absolutely, Callahan,
Appreciate
my man.
the call. He thinks you're a hero.
Perfect.
You get the shield and everything.
I just, and
Got
he's
the flag on your back.
he's referring to the time when this show got on the topic of if Mike Rizzo would get off of the boat on the Titanic. I would, and I'd give my seat up while Christian and Colin would be running people over in their wake.
Didn't say that. I don't know. No point in what I'm saying.
But yeah, can I have a lightsaber, a blue lightsaber instead of the shield? Is that okay?
888-760-3776. Dave in West Palm joins the program now. Dave, welcome in. What's going on?
What's up, guys? Happy afternoon. Hey, first off, how did the game go last night for you guys?
We lost by good call. Our youth basketball game, which Dave is referring to, our 7th and 8th grade boys. We were in the championship best of 3 series. Game 1 was yesterday. Number 1, our concussion best player did not play. And number 2, we lost by about 16 points. Close through the second half. It was 18-16 at the end of the second quarter. It was a 4-point game at the end of the third quarter. Sort of blew open the first couple minutes of the fourth. But we lost by about 16. Not a great game.
All right.
And we did not. And we.
Best of 3, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing. The weird part is you got another game. So it's just very
Right.
strange to react after this. And we also, that game is tonight. So we have our second game tonight. Win or go home.
All right. Well, good luck on that, man. But a good call. I think you guys did the right thing. But anyway, going to the Belichick topic. Lifelong Giants fan. I was a kid watching, the 85-86 Giants. Going into the 90s and then seeing Belichick's career throughout the NFL. All the points are great. The thing that I think people need to consider too, well, the writers, not people, but just the writers, like, look, there is no Tom Brady without Bill Belichick, and Tom Brady is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but people are forgetting that Tom Brady was at the center of Deflategate, where this guy actually had to go to federal court and testify to what his role was in this whole thing. Spygate was kind of more of an administrative thing, was kind of like enhanced scouting, where the organization took it too far. And his boss was actually okay with the whole thing, but we can't prove that, but we're just going to presume that that's what happened. But the point is like, you like TV because he's Tom Brady, so he gets in, but this isn't fair to Belichick because even with all that going on, the man wins.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is right.
They outperformed the blemishes. They outperformed the red flags to that tenure. They outperformed it. Now, Dave, would you say that since Belichick didn't get in first ballot, are you one of those people that's saying, all right, well, you don't put Belichick in first ballot, get ready to not put Brady in first ballot off of principle? Where do you stand there?
I think the two go together. If they're going to do that to him, listen, the sports world where self-destructive has happened to Tom Brady. Because at the end of the day, it's Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. No one cares about Kraft. Everyone cares about Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And Belichick, he's the hood. So he's just going to have to be the Sith Lord and be the villain for one more year. So, but if they did it to Belichick, would I be happy if they did it to Brady? No, because it's not right if they did it to Belichick. So why would you do it to Brady? It's just wrong, man. Like the whole thing is wrong.
Good call. Appreciate it, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
I
agree
think
with
it makes sense because it's wrong to keep Bill out, it doesn't make it right to keep Tom out for a year, But it's also admitting that you were contradictory and speaking out of
you
both
had an
sides of your
agenda.
mouth.
Call for it as you had an agenda.
You had biases against one guy personally, not the other guy personally.
It's just it's a question of, I don't think anybody takes that Hall of Fame voting committee seriously anymore. But now is, how are you going to build off that? If you're going to stand off of principle and not make it a personal agenda instead of a principled agenda, then Brady can't get in first ballot. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
And if you don't do that, then you are writing on the wall saying we had a personal vendetta against Bill Belichick.
Yep. Hypocrite.
a personal problem. Now, here's an interesting call. 888-760-3776. The other night at TGL on Monday, Mike did a live read for our pals over at Men's Only Medical.
Yeah, Doc L, a great friend of mine, one of my best friends here in West Palm Beach.
Yeah. Doc L gets it. Doc L gets it.
Doc L, mensonlymedical.com. My guy, Doc.
Mike mispronounced what word again?
Concierge.
You said concierge, not concierge. This individual calls in and reminds Mike of his patterns.
She was mean.
And how he...
Call for it. She was mean.
Well,
she was mean.
She might have been mean.
She was mean.
I don't think she was mean. I think she was fair. We'd like to welcome her in. Dory in Boca joins the program. Dory, welcome back. How are you today? What's going on?
Thank you. The only comment I have to say is you guys have talked about every single accomplishment about Bill Belichick, but you didn't talk about how many professional and college coaches he has mentored or being on his team as a coach, whether it's a defensive coach, offensive coach, has embellished people's ability to then go on and coach teams all through the league and all through college. And I think that's one other aspect that no one's even talking about. But I think if you were to look it up, and I don't know what the numbers are, there's probably 12 to 15 coaches and other personnel. You know, we don't even think about people like equipment people or, you know, there are all sorts of people who work for big teams like this, but we don't think about them. But they've gone through his systems, and they are now out coaching and on their own. So that's my comment. Thank you very much. Have a great day, you guys.
Mike, you got something to say to Dory?
Dory, no apology? No apology from you?
Dory had a 5 o'clock meeting. She told me she had her heart out.
It's okay. Listen, she's a good listener of the show. She knows her ball. I give her credit. She knew ball. She knows ball.
Didn't you ban her last time?
Yeah, but I'm overruled. I got over it. You know me. I'm very hot, hot about it for a minute and, have a sip of coffee, sip of iced coffee. I'll be all right.
Now, one thing I would say.
Now, but she was wrong because I mentioned Vrabel, but I understand. She had a good point, all right? Well, can I be a homer for a second? Matt Patricia had the best defense in college football last year. All right, he's an incredible coordinator.
Not a great
on the couch
head coach.
No,
yes.
But to her credit, is a great coach. Great coach and a great mind. So it's just another reason as to how Bill Belichick has been slighted here. And that's the bottom line. Belichick has been slighted. There is an agenda by Mr. Pullian and possibly Robert Kraft, and I got a real issue with it. Kyle, we got to say it on the show. We're down on Bill Pullian today.
Yeah, the one thing about Belichick's coaching career and coaching tree is interesting because, Saban is, I guess, the one person you could count is Nick Saban when he was with the Browns.
You have to count him.
And that's a huge one.
You have to count him.
I agree. That's a huge one. Outside of that, at least in recent memory, Joe Judge was a disaster. Patricia wasn't worked out. McDaniels, that needs to be unsaid. Bill O'Brien was okay at best.
Yeah, and he's running Boston College into the ground as well right now.
There's a number of guys that come to mind and think, they have some success. Even if you go back, Schwartz was there. Brian Flores is another one. But to the point is, there's a lot of steady coaches throughout football that have started through Belichick. And you want to go, and everybody likes talking about the Saban coaching tree. Oh my gosh, the amount of great coaches that has went through the Alabama system and basically been, in a lot of ways groomed to be a great head coach by Nick Saban. Nick Saban worked for Belichick for 3 years. So who's the head of the snake there? I'm not saying it's all because of Bill, but he was part of it, which is why you got to give, to Dory's credit, Bill a lot of credit in that regard. Now, the other coaches directly underneath him, at least in recent years, that was a well-oiled machine. If anything, those guys not succeeding proves that Bill is
how
so
good he is and how his hands were on everything that they do. Everything. He was known as a defensive guy. My God, he knows more offense than some of these whiz kid coordinators in the league right now.
888-760-3776. We go to West Palm Beach. Tim in West Palm Beach joins us now. Tim, hello. How are you? What's going on?
What's going on, Tim?
I was just calling because I think one of the things that the committee was thinking about is Belichick the man is compared to Belichick the coach. Now, Belichick the coach deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Does Belichick the man deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Are we putting people in the Hall of Fame based on whether they're a good man or not? Or like a good man? And we're not to say Belichick's a bad person, but blemishes to that career.
Now let me ask you this, partner. What makes him a bad man? What's the narrative that he is a bad man? What do you want to bring up here?
Well, you bring up Spygate.
Okay.
You bring up the Deflategate, and I can't think of anything else.
Right.
My pushback on that is the league suspended and justice was already served for that. That's my pushback on that. At the time that it happened, justice was already served, and I think Bill, throughout his career, has put together a career that is unrivaled. Would you agree?
I agree, and like I said, I believe Belichick, the coach, should be in, but does Belichick, the person, deserve to get those accolades, or should we wait till after he passes away and put him into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I don't think that's the right move. We appreciate the call, Tim. That's not the right move. To make it posthumously, I don't think is any sort of solution.
And let's go back to what we've been saying all show, Colin. You better do it with Brady. Better do it with Tom. And I love Tom.
Even if, right.
Okay? You better do it for Brady. Like, if that's the case, you better do it for the best quarterback of all time. If you're going to let the greatest coach of all time not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, do it for Tom. And listen, you guys know, the one Michigan man I give the benefit of the doubt to is the greatest quarterback of all time. Okay? Spare me on that. He belongs in the Hall of Fame, and so does Coach Belichick.
There, a number of people have had blemishes in either their personal lives or how they handled themselves off the field that have gotten in first ballot Hall of Famer. Lawrence Taylor got in.
OJ's in the Hall of Fame.
OJ was in the Hall of Fame before the murder trial, but yeah.
He got taken out?
No, but he was already a first ballot Hall of Famer before, like 10. It was like 80 in the mid 80s.
They could take him out.
There are people. Let's call
Ray Lewis, another one.
It's called Jack a spade. There are worse people.
Ray Lewis, you're talking about.
There are worse people.
Good friend of ours. Good texting buddy of Christian.
There are worse people in this world that have been let into the Hall of Fame during their lifetime than Bill Belichick. Okay, let's make that abundantly clear.
1,000%. Been a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. They're here to fight for you. I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back, and they can get yours too. They don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. They are the best around. They're the best in the business for a reason. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand the best. Go demand Anajar and Levine. Take that one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call the free consultation today. Call 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. 888-760-3776. We stay in West Palm. John in West Palm Beach joins us now. John, hello. How are you?
What's going on, John?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Hey, you guys are forgetting where'd Belichick come from?
Are you talking about the Browns or before then?
Parcells?
There you go. That was the man.
What were you trying to say with that, John? He was a Parcells guy?
Would you agree?
Are you talking about from the coaching tree? Is that what you're alluding to? The fact that we were talking about coaching trees?
Yeah, the coaching tree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you could go we could go further than that. Parcells worked with Landry. So you could do the same thing. There is 100% agree, John. You could really go up the ladder here. All this tells us is that football has been a passed down product. Coaching, especially, has been a passed down skill set.
Yes.
And it's almost a lifeblood. You learn from this guy. That guy learns from the next guy. Same thing with athletes and players. The greats pass down their wisdom to the next guy. Bill Russell plays against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will play later in his career against Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon will play against Shaquille O'Neal.
The biggest thing about a mentor is they teach you how to be a professional. And I think anybody who came from any coaching tree will tell you that. The Saban coaching tree, the Belichick coaching tree. I mean, you hear Dan Lanning and Cignetti talk about it nonstop. Two guys who are, we could have a conversation about Lanning, but for the sake of the argument, premium head coaches in college football, giving their credit to Nick Saban. We could do this with all of it. I think maybe what he was trying to point out is Parcells deserves some credit. I apologize. I don't know if Bill Parcells is in the NFL Hall of Fame. Maybe that's the angle he was trying to take there. He is?
Yes.
There you go.
Two-time Super Bowl champ.
Yeah. I mean,
Not a first ballot.
Yeah. But still.
I think he was talking about the coaching trees.
No.
Hey, well, we said Saban's part of Bill. Well, Bill's part of Parcells. We'll get onto the other sides. Christian Cat, Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Many people start trimming trees when they hear a storm is on the way, but that leaves piles of branches on the ground that could become dangerous projectiles during a storm. Instead, having a year-round trimming plan is better for you, your neighbors, and the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County. When trimming is done correctly and on schedule, your trees are stronger and more resistant to wind damage. After the storm passes, there's less vegetative debris, helping the SWA clean up your community faster. Learn more at swa.org/storm.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful Defender 110 P300S for just $849 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
Funnel cake, rise, farm animals.
Wake up, South Florida Fair.
Don't tell me what's fair. What? The South Florida Fair is open? Why didn't you say so sooner? Use the free park and ride from the mall at Wellington Green and Palm Beach Central High School and avoid traffic. Visit southfloridafair.com for details or download the Fair app. Open now through February 1st in West Palm Beach.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Every great performance starts with a plan.
Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Colin to the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo got you for the next hour up till 6 p.m. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. YouTube at ESPN South Florida. Twitter and Facebook at ESPN West Palm. We got Christian Cat behind the glass as always. If you missed any of the previous parts of the program, go listen back on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. Just go to Russo and Rizzo. Listen, you've seen the PGA's Tour's best on the course. Maybe some have jumped over to live trying to get back. We'll talk about that later. But in the arena, it is prime time. Season 2 of TGL, presented by SoFi, is back with big moments, big personalities, nonstop action on the biggest screen. Shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, and overtime. It is city versus city, squad versus squad. Tickets are on sale now, but availability is limited. Visit TGLGolf.com to get your tickets while they last. TGL, presented by SoFi. Keep up. It is golf. Even if you go to TGL, you can come say hello to us because we're outside every time, and there's not that many people that go because it's a small building. It's 1,600 people get to go in terms of tickets. So it's small availability. Availability is truly limited, and that means we're not hard to find. We're right there.
Right.
You know, a campus right there in Palm Beach Gardens. You can walk around the whole thing in a couple minutes. Come say hello to us if you go over to TGL. So you can do all of that and have some more fun. Christian's our producer behind the glass today. Christian, hello. What's going on?
Played golf this morning, and it was the first cold round of the year.
It's probably nice.
No. I got to wear the golf pants I got for Christmas from my girlfriend, so that was nice. So got to wear the quarter zip that I also got.
I ran this morning. It was, 40 some odd degrees. It was nice. I didn't think it was
like you're running. So like you're moving and like you probably feel great. I think you cool.
Yeah, I'm following. Yeah.
I'm sitting in the golf cart waiting to tee off. But I was good on the back nine. I had the best 4-hole stretch of my life. Par birdie with a combined, the 2 birdie putts added up to 100 feet.
What were the par 3s, 4s? What was it?
Both par 3s. Hit the back fringe on both of these par 3s and knocked in the putt both times.
Wow.
I screamed after the second one.
Who were you playing with?
Solo.
Wow. So you had a good day today.
I had a great day today.
That's why it's nice to play cold because there's not many people in the course. Keep that in mind.
Right. And like the people, like the crowd that's split here this time of year, some of them have a lot of money. So it's like, I paid $100 for a tee time, but it's chilly. That's all right. I'll lose the money. I'd rather be comfortable in bed. I made friends with the ranger, like the guy who makes sure everyone's going at the right pace and no one's getting too drunk and getting in fights like you see on Instagram.
He had nothing to do. So he just hung out with you?
Sure.
Yeah, we were just chatting.
Right, because he's got nowhere to police. Right. There's not that many people on the course.
Sheriff?
Yeah, pretty much. And so that was my guy to tell. Hey, I birded that hole. It was crazy. And then, so a really good morning. I neglected to mention that I blew up on the first 4 holes because of how cold it was and because how early I had a tee time for.
What was the time?
Didn't hit the range. It's a 7:20 tee time. The range opened at 7. I didn't want to rush over and hit a couple balls, so I just chunked a bunch out of the gate. It makes me sad that I shorted myself. But, shot in the 92. Proud of the score because I had like a quad, triple, and a quad in the first couple of holes. So you know what? Good day to be Christian Cat. That's what I'll say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not bad.
What's happened to you?
I had a good day today. I like the cold. Now this weekend's gonna be a little much. I like when it's not warm on the weekends, but during the day, I don't hate when it's nice out.
What Colin is failing to mention, he's losing 10 degrees too by going to the west coast of Florida.
which might snow for the first time in 49 years.
Yeah, I saw there's a line like through Orlando where above that line there's a chance for flurries, and Tampa's well above that line.
Right. So it's first time in 49 years that would be. Like the Gulf winds are bringing it over, the cold wind, and it's supposed to rain a little bit, at least in the morning. But how about that? That would be quite a moment. And how about that? The Stadium Series is at Raymond James for NHL. So how about that? Doing an outdoor hockey in Tampa on Sunday.
Might be some flurries.
How many? I thought there was only one.
This is different. This is the Stadium Series. They're doing this at Raymond James.
Right, because they have a game at Penn State's football stadium too.
Right.
Where they're going to have Penguins versus Flyers, which is really cool.
Right. They're doing it outdoors, but they're actually building they built like a pseudo little rink for it. They built like a roof and everything. It's not completely outdoors.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, they needed to keep in mind. Yeah. They needed to keep in mind as well, it could be nice. You know what I mean? Like it is Florida after all, so
right,
they could just bank on
Sunday's
it.
going to be the cold day.
Yeah.
Sunday's going to be I think the coldest West Palm Beach has been in years is going to be this Sunday.
Is that right?
Yeah. In terms of lows. The feeling low, it's supposed to be windy on Saturday night in Tampa. I was checking, it's going to feel like 19 degrees.
Unbelievable. So we avoided the big freeze last weekend.
And it's hitting us this week.
And now the big freeze is hitting us down here.
Yeah, and they're also getting like another foot of snow in the Northeast. So
yeah, another storm's coming. Another storm is coming.
Dude, my dad, I need to, Christian, remind me to show you the video he sent me of his house in Cleveland, Ohio. Dude, 2 feet. I mean,
see, I like
2 feet.
When I was a kid, I loved those ridiculous snowstorms where you could make an igloo where the snow plows would pile up the snow and it would like conglomerate at every mailbox. Mm-hmm. So you have like a snow pile that's taller than us as kids.
Yep.
You could bury through and really hunker down in there.
There was a movie, and maybe I'm a little old, and maybe you guys don't necessarily know what I'm talking about. Was it maybe called Snow Day? And they were playing Nintendo 64 in the igloo.
Really?
Yeah. It's core childhood memory of watching it. I remember my buddies and I.
That's the Rizzo dream right there.
I remember my buddies and I were like, we got to do this. We got to do this. But yeah, Christian, igloos, snowmen, we did the whole thing, man. Snowball fights. It was always fun when you were a kid when it snowed. And then when you become an adult, it's just such a nuisance, man. Like, snow days and everything as well when you're younger. I mentioned to you guys a core childhood memory was turning on the local channel, and if it was bright red, turning it back off and going back to bed. But, snow nowadays missed me on it. I really turned a corner on it when I moved to Peoria, when I was just completely over it. Just completely over the snow when I really moved out on my own and really had to deal with it a lot during the winter.
I'm very curious to see how these northern parts of Florida deal with it, because it's sort of like when Dallas gets cold.
Yeah, you got to shut it down.
Dallas gets a little snow. Dallas might get a little ice. And then all of a sudden, it's Armageddon.
Yeah,
not only do they not know how to salt the roads, they don't know how to drive in it. They don't know how to adjust to cold weather. And I know Texas is always like that because Texas has one or two major cold fronts a year. Florida has less. So I'm very curious to see how the Tampa surrounding area, not only the drivers respond if there's anything to it. I'm not sure if it'll be icy. Probably not, but it could be.
Yeah, like where do they get, like what would they need to use ice for in Tampa? Like they're not prepared for a snowstorm there.
I'm not saying it's going to be a snowstorm, but snow flurries and below freezing temperatures around rain, that could freeze.
And the one you think is, snowplows, trucks, salt systems. Like in the north where we're all from, we've mastered the snow. We do the snow. So I guess Florida doesn't do so. They don't have snowplows. They don't have
Texas.
a salting system. They don't have. So that's why you shut down the city.
See, the whole country needs this right now because of the nationwide freeze, what it feels like. So they got to get federal help, don't they? Like thankfully we have forecasts where we can forecast.
I mean, everybody,
happen.
you know it's coming. If Tampa gets rocked by this,
it's like DeSantis has got to be like,
this is your fault.
Like, hey, North Carolina, you got any salters, please? Like,
your fault. Your fault. If you get rocked by this, if you're in Tampa, your fault. And if I'm in a situation where I'm driving in Tampa and somebody doesn't know how to drive in the cold weather, I'm going to be pissed off because I know how to drive in the cold weather.
Now, you're still going, even though there might be slippery roads.
I don't think it'll be. I think we're maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves, but it's going to be below freezing for a considerable part of the night. That's what the thing. And if it rains around that, that's where you got to get nervous that morning. But I don't know if that's going to be like that. I don't know. I know it's going to be windy, and it's going to be that wind. So it's going to be like being in Chicago or something like that because that bay wind is real.
Do you want me to live stream Game 3 if we have a Game 3 for our youth basketball team?
And Jason asked in the YouTube chat, and he's asked if we played our player who had the concussion. And the answer to that question last night in Game 1 was no. We coached a 7th and 8th grade youth basketball team. We had our first game of a 3-game championship series in the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association yesterday. And we had a situation in which we had a decision to make whether to play an individual who recently sustained a concussion. We did not play him, and we lost by about 16 points. So, game 2 tonight. Game 2
We got
tonight.
rocked by Uncle Steve. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It was Uncle Steve's team, Steve Politano, the Good Karma Branch president.
Sorry, context.
How many? The first quarter, we were already saying that one of Steve's guys is reffing the game. We're like, Steve, one of your guys?
Right. Is this
first quarter? We were not
it
far.
Is topic number 1.
Okay, let's do it.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Number 1.
Well, you guys led right on into it. Game 1 of the championship series in your youth basketball league. It's Russo and Rizzo coaching your youth team. 8 and 9 years old? Is that
7th and 8th grade.
7 and 8th.
So about 13, 14 years old.
Versus our boss's boss. I think
High
you
up.
eventually get there.
High up.
Top guy, pioneer, founding father, one of them, of Good Karma Brands that owns ESPN West Palm. Steve Politziner's team. Break down why you came into this workday so hot and bothered.
Because last night we had our game 1. First of all, I have a major problem with the structure of the playoff scheduling. I like schedules. I understand schedules. I like seeing it. I like the logistics around it. A best-of-3 youth basketball championship is the biggest waste of time in the history of waste of times. It's hard to get guys up for one game. Getting them up for 3 in 1 week is a little rough, and that's including the semifinal. I would talk about 4 games in 1 week. It's a little much. Every parent knows in South Florida that every kid alive who plays sports is playing 5 different things at once. It's too much to ask. You're dealing with scheduling conflicts. Should have been a one and done, but I don't make the rules. And Steve said that the board made a decision weeks ago. The board.
By the way,
you give me a break.
Everyone knows I love Uncle Steve. I'm going to give him a shout here.
The board.
Uncle Steve texts Colin and I's chat with him, says, blame the refs. Great role model. Let me say this clearly. We did not lose.
That? Did he just say that?
He did just say that. We did not lose. Christian, let me make this abundantly clear. To Uncle Steve's point, we did not lose because of the referees. Let me make that clear.
We were not happy with the refs, but
if I could go into it, okay, 3 of the worst calls, Christian, 3 of the worst, okay, we could joke around, Riz, you played high-level basketball. Played a lot of basketball in my life, okay? 3 of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life, made by the one referee, and I got on his you-know-what early. This was the first quarter.
He threatened Mike with a tech and must have been 2 minutes into the game.
2 minutes into the game. 2 minutes into the game, I looked at this guy and said, dude, do you know basketball? I literally looked at him. I said, I don't think you know basketball. And then he let that one go. And then another miserable call. And in the back of my mind, I'm hot. Like I said, what do you guys know about me? I'm angry about stuff in the moment. And then, I get over it in about 60 seconds.
Yeah, you want to give Dory and Boca a swirly.
Anyway, I get on this guy and he looks at me and he stops the game. Says, sit down. If you stand up again, I'm teeing you up. Didn't say another word to the referees for the rest of the night, said things under my breath. But after that, Benji, good buddy of ours, who is the president of the league, I went to Benji, had choice words for him about this specific referee, and I later apologized after the game for what I said. So tension was hot and heavy very early in this game. But Christian, the refs were very much so on Uncle Steve's side.
Now,
we did not lose because of the refs. To Steve's credit.
Refs were much
Steve
better
knows
in the second
I love
half.
them, all right?
They were much better in the second half.
They were a lot better in the second half, but the first half, they were giving the benefit of the doubt to the vice president of the league, who signs their paychecks.
We did
and
say,
I had a real issue with that.
We did say within 3 or 4 minutes of the game starting, we turned around to Steve's when they
had a
scored
real issue with
on
that.
our end, right? Because their offense is coming to our end of the bench. And they score. There was a foul. It was a bad call. And then we turn around. We're walking back. We go, "This one of your guys, Steve? This one of your
we
guys?"
were very upset. But
It's Steve's guys.
It's like playing Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan. They're gonna get the calls.
It's like Scott Foster.
Don't say that.
They're gonna get the
Steve
calls.
thinks he's Pat Riley.
Dude, they
we need to
smoked.
calm down.
Hang on.
Steve thinks he's Pat
Hang
Riley.
on.
You know what the big problem that I had with Steve
They
yesterday?
smoked us.
Steve
Smoked
calls a
us.
timeout. 17-point game. 16-point game, whatever it was. Steve calls a timeout with 20 seconds to go to get his best player out of the game.
I had a real
to
issue
tell his
with
guys
that.
to hold it. Steve, stop.
What'd you say? No, hang on. I told Colin at real time. I go, Kyle. I said, they're seriously taking him out. Kyle, remind me what you said. You go, little emasculating. What'd you say? Yeah. You said,
Little
yeah.
emasculating.
Little emasculating.
Mike, I got to be honest. So I was not there. Don't have a reason to root for Steve's team or your guys' team. Mike, how you described it, I would be so embarrassed if a ref told me to sit down.
He told me to sit down. But
I doubt
I'm fine
that
with
Jim
it.
gets
I'm fine
that
with
loud. Everyone heard it, right?
Yeah, you could hear it.
Oh, everyone heard it.
Yeah, you
but
can
I'm
hear
fine
it.
with it.
Dog,
I'm fine with it.
I'd cry.
The parents came up to me. The parents came up to me
They
afterwards.
know the game. They
yeah,
know the
dude,
game.
we're
very
fine.
vocal.
We're
We're
good.
very vocal.
Christian,
They know the
Christian,
deal.
you know me pretty good by now. You think I cared for any? I almost got thrown out. I wanted to get in that guy's face and get thrown out in the moment. But Colin, I calmed down a bit when Colin turned around and he starts laughing. He goes, "There's your warning." Because usually the warning happens in the third quarter.
6:40 to go in the first quarter. There's your warning.
Minute 30 went by.
Burned it.
But to be fair, they were egregious calls. And you want to know what else I had a problem with? Another thing I actually got had a complaint with Benji, a valid complaint. We had two jokers running the scoreboard last night.
I agree with that.
Two
Those
jokers.
Guys, yeah,
What were they
Jokers, right? Christian, they were yelling. They were calling our players. Everyone heard it too. They were calling our players bums, bad, and the worst one.
Did they do that?
The worst one was when we were
How old were they?
We were at they were probably high school kids at college. One kid looked like he was at college. Looked older than me. Looked like he was at college. But anyway, our players at the free throw line, and he said something at the free throw line while my player is shooting.
Yeah,
and I went up to Benji. I said, "Can I get bench warmers off of the Can I get Dumb and Dumber off of the board?"
He's not wrong.
And
The
Benji
kid did
goes,
say something during a free throw, and he shouldn't have said it.
And
It
then
was
I think, and honest to God, I think one of these individuals plays high school basketball. Shame on you, brother. Shame on you.
I have no idea.
For doing
I don't know
that.
enough
All
about
right,
that.
I told Benji. I told
guys.
Benji. I said, "Can you get
Follow him home?
Can you get these jokers?" Okay, and Benj goes, "Riz, I will be doing the scorekeeping." So I appreciate it. I was actually very impressed by Benji last night. I made my complaints about the referee. He said, "Riz, I'll look into it." I made my complaints about the scoreboard.
Look into it. That's get away from me. That's code for get away
I
from
made
me.
my complaint about the scoreboard. I saw people, by the way, there were a couple of observers that were there just to watch the game. You know what I mean? Guys from the league that wanted to watch a championship game. They left early. That pissed me off. They left early because we were getting smoked like a cigarette. I give Steve credit. They were ready for our 2-3. They were ready for a lot of things.
They box out. That's why they lost.
Must win game
box
tonight.
out.
They abused short corner. They ran short corner against us, and I give them credit. I give Uncle Steve credit, man.
They box out.
He ran. Listen, we got outcoached last night. We did.
Our coach is certainly a way to put it. We didn't box out. That's it. We
To
didn't
be
box out.
continued. What was solidified today happened in Cleveland, Ohio.
Best of three is a waste of time.
Very much so.
Go
and
ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll be there Saturday. I'm there. If
Waste
we
of
win
time.
tonight, I'm
What
there,
a-
brother.
what a
No worries. And I want to win. I want to win now. I want to win.
How about that? Like, what a stupid idea.
I want to win now.
Let's
I
do
hope
Easter Sunday. Let's have it in between Mass.
Christian, you know.
What a joke.
You know I love saying.
July 4th, let's do the afternoon. Let's
Christian,
do a triple header youth basketball.
Christian, you know I love
15-year-olds.
C-Cat, you know I love saying, he didn't have them ready to play, for my teams. We didn't have our guys ready to play last night.
Finally,
we didn't have them ready to play.
Inward.
I did not. And honestly,
I'm just pissed off at the scheduling. Who schedules like that? What a stupid idea. You lose all the juice. You know what the problem is? It's hard to get people to one game. It's even harder to get people to 3 games, especially a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you got to go all the way to Saturday. Do a one-off, have everybody there. ESPN West Palm probably would have showed up. We do that. That would have been much better for everybody involved.
We have the best player in the league. I failed those kids last night. Man, I got, like you said, maybe you're right. Maybe it was a little embarrassing for me to get yelled at a minute 30 into the game.
13 and 14-year-old. I can't imagine that. I've never coached youth sports.
I had no issue with it.
I've never stood in your shoes.
No issue.
So I've never yelled at a ref.
It doesn't matter. It's about the kids not saying anything to the refs.
Yeah, and to give us credit, we do not let our kids talk to the referees. I will get thrown out. That's what I tell them. I will get thrown out. That's what I'm here for, to get thrown out by the referee.
You want to get thrown out like Jim Schwartz was from the head coaching search by the Cleveland Browns. That's the defensive coordinator for Cleveland, who apparently thought he was a shoo-in for the job.
Yeah.
But no, the Cleveland Browns announced they hired former Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken as their head coach. Rizzo, you've got your ear to the ground in Cleveland. Give me the lowdown on what happened.
So first off, let's get this out of the way. Everybody is shocked from Todd Monken. last night, the reports out of the building of people that have been covering the team for 30-plus years, and Tony Grossi and Mary Kay Cabot, that it was Nathan Shieldhouse's and Schwartz's Toulouse, okay? Jim Schwartz's Toulouse. Lo and behold, today, around 11:30,
he lost.
Todd Monken, new head coach for the Cleveland Browns. Now, a couple of things here. Grant Udinsky, Mike McDaniel, Jesse Minter reportedly all pulled out of the job because Andrew Berry, Browns GM, who's leading the coaching search, and Jimmy Haslam wanted Jim Schwartz to be the defensive coordinator. They said, nope, we don't want Jim. We got our own guys. Once they found that out, they pulled their names out. Lo and behold, Todd Monken, enter Todd Monken, okay? Says, yeah, I'll take Jim. Jim Schwartz was very upset that a guy like Todd Monken got the job over him. To Schwartz's credit, let's give him a little credit. Had a great defense the last 2-3 years he's been there.
He's a great coordinator.
He was a head coach for the Lions, all right? Todd Monken's only coaching stop is Southern Mississippi. Boys, go look at Todd Monken's record at Southern Mississippi. 12-25.
You can't go through his head coaching career and then want Grant Udinsky at 30 years old to be your next head coach. You got to play. You can't play both ways.
No. What the point I'm trying to make is take this from Jim Schwartz's perspective.
I understand.
That's what I'm trying to make here. So Jim Schwartz sees all this, feels disrespected, and tells the Haslams and Andrew Berry to kick rocks. So the guy you were bending over backwards for to be the defensive coordinator told you to kick rocks after you finally found the candidate that would make him stick around. Boys, this is another layer in Browns history of just clearly people being out of their league. All right, let me go through the coaches that that Jimmy Haslam, during his time as owner, who is Rob Chudzinski, Mike Pettin, Hugh Jackson, Freddie Kitchens, Kevin Stefanski. 4 out of those guys barely even work in the NFL. Give credit to Stefanski. That failed because of the Watson situation. Who wants to be the Browns coach too, by the way? Okay.
That's why I think those guys pulled out. Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job.
Christian, the current quarterback situation, Deshaun Watson and all that distraction, Shedeur Sanders. They're known as the worst run organization in sports. It's hard to argue that. And the interview process, okay? Andrew Berry's doing magic tricks, finding the jack of spades. You know what I mean? Making the candidates find the jack of spades to be the coach. Obviously, I'm being a little bit unfair here, but you're going to tell Mike McCarthy. Imagine the Browns interview Mike McCarthy. As much as I get on McCarthy, Super Bowl winning coach, record speaks for itself. Yeah, Mike, write an essay on why you think the Browns should be the coach. I'm going to pull Kirk Cignetti. Google him. The hell do you need written homework for? This is another layer of history of the Browns being the worst run organization in sports. The Haslams are great people, but they do not know football, and once again, they make a bad hire. My initial reaction, this guy already needs to be fired because Andrew Berry hired him. That was my initial reaction. Floored, shocked, needs to be fired already. That's where I'm at this point. Terrible.
Nobody wants that job. Nobody wanted that job.
Terrible. But Shieldhouse and Schwartz wanted it. Those are the rumors out of the building. Listen, Shieldhouse unproven, fine. You can get on me for that. But I'd rather have Shieldhouse than Monken.
I don't disagree.
And I'd rather have Jim Schwartz. If I had the option of,
what would be the perspective if Jim Schwartz got promoted?
Listen.
You wouldn't love it. But Brown fans wouldn't love it.
You wouldn't love it. And listen, people did not like it. They rather have the flashy Udinsky, flashy for McDaniel, but McDaniel, Minter, and Shieldhouse. But the big thing, Kyle, was you needed to have this guy as a defensive coordinator. The Browns mismanaged this because they found a coach that would take him on and keep him in the building, and they pissed Schwartz off. It's insane. And it's just completely inept. And they're inept. They don't know what to do. They don't know what they're doing. And they should have fired Berry. And listen, these are great people. And this is my team, man. I hate lambasting the Haslams and Andrew Berry, but guys, 8-26, they use data. God, I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I want to win, man. Don't we want to win? We all want to win.
Can we give the guy a chance? But I understand it's questionable hire. Questionable hire. And I'd also think...
No one wanted him. Christian got fired from Baltimore.
He was going to follow Harbaugh to New York. But yes. The one thing I'd say is I do think a lot of the guys who took interviews there did it for resumes. You know, they did it because they didn't want that job.
Like I said,
nobody wants to work underneath that front office, and nobody wants to work with that roster.
I tend to agree with you. I'm going to give my Cleveland reporters, and I know they're flowers, of assuming a big part of it, too, was because Schwartz needed a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You were bending over backwards for a defensive coordinator. You should have just hired him. Then hire him. If you want this guy so bad, hire him. Now you have your pants down with Todd Monken. Come on, man. Come on, man. What are we doing?
We're doing golf. Patrick Reed is the second notable, there's some other guys that are lesser known, second biggest name to officially leave LIV Golf, and he is attempting to return to the PGA Tour. Now, he does not fall in the field where the PGA Tour set terms before LIV Golf began this year, where you had to have won a major championship or the Players Championship from 2022 on. So Patrick Reed will have to sit out a full year and then is eligible to play in the PGA Tour in 2027. First Brooks, now Patrick Reed, defecting from LIV to the PGA Tour. What does this exactly mean?
I wonder if the PGA is going to make another exception.
You think they're going to expedite it?
You're telling me that you could draw up the rules in favor of Brooks Koepka, but for another Masters winner, you're going to draw the line? Right? Isn't that seem a little hypocritical? You basically bent the rules to allow Brooks Koepka to come back immediately. And Patrick Reed is not the draw that Brooks Koepka is. I don't think anybody doubts that. But Patrick Reed's won a Masters. And this is a guy who didn't win a Masters 25 years ago. Won a Masters, 2019, I want to say?
18, yeah.
18. 2018. 2019 was Tiger. 2018. So we're talking about somebody that is culturally and athletically very relevant in the sport of golf. And now we're going to draw the line and made him wait a whole year. What is Patrick Reed? Probably 30-some-odd years old?
35.
He's
35.
not a big name like.
But 35, you're going to make him sit and he's going to have to play when he's 37?
They're not going to bend, and I don't think they're going to bend over backwards for Reed. To answer the question, I don't. And honestly, maybe I'm wrong. I don't mind it. He's not Brooks Koepka. He's not Koepka. He's not Koepka.
Patrick Reed has a checkered past in terms of his likability within other golfers. Brooks's likability towards the media is spotty, but within the golf circle, they love him.
That's why this is not the right. What the players are supposed to decide whether they like him or not. That he has to sit and do a year. There's no principle to that.
Guys like Rory and Tiger are in those conversations on setting these boundaries.
They run those situations.
And there's a reason why the year 2022 was used and not 2021, which would have included Phil Mickelson into instant. You can join this year if you give up all these.
That's a very good point. Good consideration. Another thing I'd say is once 2022 happened and everybody started jumping over to LIV, the PGA's only fight back was we got to let Rory and Tiger run the show. We got to let these guys basically control it because
you can't afford losing them.
We can't afford it. We need to give them everything because they are the biggest influence on the golfers that we could ever be. And that's exactly probably what they did. And the last 5 years since, it's been Rory and the Tiger show. I just think it's a little hypocritical. We're going to draw the line at all right, how does Brooks' career play out? Oh, it's perfect with 2022. Let's do that. But when another guy wants to do it, we're going to make him sit when he's 35 years old for a full year. I don't know. A little strange to me. Little strange.
Yeah. If you are a LIV Golf and a LIV Golf only fan, I would be really worried for the future of that league because the PGA Tour is taking a different approach. It's not the guy who was there before. Like the leader of the PGA Tour, it's Rapp, and he's a different approach in terms of a little bit more forgiveness to the guys to get them back on tour that defected to LIV. And sure, it might peeve guys like Wyndham Clark, who was thinking, well, if I knew this was going to be the case, then I would have gotten out of town, gone to LIV for 5 years, made $1 billion, then returned.
But this is the question that came up with Brooks. You know, this is like, where do we draw the lines here? Do you have to win majors? You have to have 1 in 4 opportunity every single year. Like it's a really narrow line, and they're just doing it for the big names. I get it. We had this conversation when Brooks got reinstated about 3 weeks ago.
But that's how you create it. If you make the deal so sweet, if you're the PGA
and you
Tour,
change it every time, I know it's the wrong move. But the thing is, they catered the move to Brooks. It's just bizarre. It really is. It's bizarre. And it's been confirmed Bryson's going to come back after this year. He's probably...
It's not confirmed. But he is...
Let's make an educated assumption that... I think they asked him about it. He goes, I'll be here for 2026. Didn't say anything further.
He said, I am contracted to play for the
I'll
Crushers.
be here for 2026. Code speak for the second this contract is up, you will see me back on the tour.
But you know how leverage works. That's what Liv's got right now. It's Rom and it's Bryson, and then it's a whole lot of role players.
Money.
Yeah, Rom was the
Throw
one who
that in
said,
there,
I'm
too.
here. I'm here to
Money.
stay, which stinks. Because
And he was like the latest star to go as the big dogs go.
Yeah, and Rom's playing as good at golf as anybody in the world right
Won
now.
the team championship year after
He's
year.
been outstanding. He was unbelievable in the Ryder Cup. Like, Rom needs to play in more PGA tournaments because you want to see him against Scheffler. Scheffler dominates every single weekend. Rom is an adversary to that.
It would have been nice to see at least one other big name in the tournament at the Amex over the weekend because Scotty Scheffler just bludgeoned the field.
Oh, gosh. Nice if Roy, if Rom was there. Come on.
Brooks returns this weekend, and he is a needle mover because ESPN is airing Thursday and Friday, noon to 3, I believe, which is a pretty high commodity spot since the Pat McAfee show is on, if I'm not mistaken. So that's how much one of our parent companies, brand represent ESPN, is buying on into the Brooks Koepka return to the PGA Tour. Pretty big deal. Mike, you had a pants.
Yeah, I had a
emergency
pants
today.
malfunction today. I had a pants malfunction. Colin saw it. So, I'm in a sense like Colin. I don't buy clothes a lot. I have a good repertoire of clothes, but a lot of stuff I get for Christmas are clothes I can wear to work and pants and such. I got these beautiful pair of black pants my mother got me. I went to the bathroom today. I was wearing them. Went to the bathroom. Went to go zip up my zipper, and it completely flung off. So at the time, probably a time and a place to do it, I go into the kitchen where Colin, our content director, Brian, a couple other coworkers, I go, guys, got to go home. Zipper's busted.
I like how you announced it.
Yeah, I announced it. I just didn't want to leave out of the blue and everyone go, where the hell is Riz? So zipper broke. I told Brian, I said, I'm just going to throw on a pair of gym shorts, whatever. I'm driving home to, get rid of the faulty pants. And I go, I'm just going to buy another pair. I run over to a No Names Please shop. And a nice young lady, I showed her the pants. I said, what do you got that looks like this and the size? She found me one, tried them on, fit like a glove. Christian went home, threw in some other things that were dirty, washed them, dried them, put them on, came back to work. New pair of pants today. Has that ever happened? Is a zipper?
You gonna watch the pants again tonight?
Yeah, and then they're dirty. I'm wearing them to the station, and I'm going to wear them to the youth basketball game tonight. Right. Boys, have you ever had a zipper break on you? That was a new one for me. I never had a zipper break.
Outside of
like on
backpacks,
devices.
backpacks.
Yeah. Well, no. All right. Have you ever had a zipper on your pants break where you're out in public?
Can't say so.
Okay. No? Christian?
No, I've had major crotch rips, like my jeans at the Boca Bowl.
Didn't that happen recently? Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
at the Boca Bowl.
Yeah, you were SpongeBob SquarePants ripped pants? You were ripped pants?
I had to like put programs over my lap as to avoid an indecent exposure charge.
You were ripped pants guy. You were ripped pants guy at the Boca Bowl.
I'd rather be in your position, Mike, than ripped pants.
I don't know, dude. I looked ridiculous. Dude, like my pants, like you knew if you looked anywhere, you knew that I had a malfunction going on with the zipper.
Like the camera's only, like belly up.
But
You
the
could've
issue
gotten
is,
away with it.
these are brand new pants. I'm like, I texted my mother. I'm like, you should get your money back. It's faulty equipment. Faulty equipment. Wow. You know what I mean? But yeah, I give credit to Jesse who helped me at that godforsaken store. Because I hate stores, I hate shopping, I hate the whole thing.
You just hate stores?
I just hate shopping for clothes.
You
it's
hate
not
commerce?
My thing. No. You guys know I'm capitalism.
I didn't say
all right?
capitalism. I
I
said
am the
commerce.
definition of capitalism. You can sell me on anything. All right. But I do not like clothes shopping. I'm like my father in that. Oh, it's dreadful. You wait for somebody. You got to try things on. You got people asking if it fits. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing ever, honestly. Worst thing ever. Trying to find a size.
You feel better?
I do. Dude, these are great pants. Honest to God, great pants.
Let's hope they don't break.
Zipper malfunction. New one on me.
Let's hope they don't break. That's all I'll say. Baseball fans, listen up. It is that time of the year. Baseball is back. Spring training 2026 is here. Cacti Park at the Palm Beaches is the place to be all season long. It's right here in West Palm Beach, just down the street. Come watch the Astros and the Nationals host some of the biggest names in baseball. That's the Cardinals, the Mets, the Yankees, the Marlins, the Orioles, Phillies, Pirates, even Team Venezuela for the World Baseball Classic is here. Best seat in baseball is at Cacti Park. Spring training runs now through March 22nd. Go get your tickets because they're bringing back fan-favorite promotions. That's happy hour games, bark in the park night with all the dogs. You got fireworks, college night, you name it, they have it. If you're bringing the family, go 4 for 4, get a 4-pack. That is 4 tickets, 4 dogs, 4 drinks, and 4 chips. Visit cactipark.com to lock in your seats. Spring training baseball is here in West Palm Beach. Do not miss a moment. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, and Christian Cat. We're getting into some other sports stories on the other side of things. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Reason Mantos is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manso's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manso's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
We also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
Well, if you're making money off your bets, if you got the, we got to figure out where to put our money post-holiday season. We're getting a big bonus check. Who knows what's going to happen? You got to make sure you put it somewhere. Go put it with Flagler Credit Union.
Absolutely. Flagler, that local name, is who I trust my money with down here in West Palm Beach. Moving down here to West Palm, I needed a new bank. Look no further than that local name that you all know, Flagler Credit Union. They are a member of Dort Financial, which offers personal and business checking accounts. So if you have a business out there, they offer business checking accounts. But for me, I needed a personal checking account down here in South Florida, and I decided to go with that local name, Flagler Credit Union. Folks, if you're listening, if you got kids in college, kids in high school, I mean, geez, some of the prices for these high schools out here, I almost fell out of my seat. All right, if you need some fast cash, if you need some cash to get that new car, maybe to put a down payment on a home, make those home improvements, take that vacation, think of my guys over at Flagler, because they're a non-for-profit cooperative, which means they will charge less when you need to borrow some money. They got 4 great and convenient locations across Palm Beach County. I use the West Palm branch because I live right up in Palm Beach Lakes, but that is West Palm, Boca Raton, Lake Clark Shores, and North Palm. Flagler Credit Union is the official credit union of those red-hot Florida Athletics, red-hot basketball team. By the way, men's basketball team doing very good in their conference play. Open up an account today. Visit flaglercu.org or go to one of those 4 locations I told you about. My good friends at Flagler Credit Union. That's who I trust with my money.
Giannis on the we've done this a number of times. 9 months later, as it's reported by Shams Charania, the Bucks are finally going to start listening to Giannis' serious trade offers. You got about a week until the trade deadline, give or take. And now teams are really going to start to pony up and see if they could go get the definite first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the top players in the history of basketball, really to play in top 30 at least. And Giannis is looking to be moved now. Now it's a question of to where, when, and how. And there have been a number of places that can make a move. We'll get into that on the other side of things. We're getting to the Giannis trade rumors. Where is he going to go? Other side of things, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, if you're thinking you're, a little off, feeling off, you don't know where to go, you can look no further than Men's Only Medical.
Absolutely. It is the concierge healthcare service where I have Doc Al's number. If I got something going on, I'm hitting up Doc Al. He is my primary doctor. All right. I mention all the time, moving down here a year and a half ago, I needed a new everything. Doc Al is my doctor down here, my primary doctor with the concierge health care service, which means if I got something going on, I can hit up Doc Al's personal number, not waiting on a helpline, not waiting for a godforsaken automated thing to give me a real person. I'm talking to the guy who's going to be helping me. Go check out what Doc Al could do for you. The one-stop shop men's health clinic, the first in business here in West Palm Beach for a men's health clinic. That is Men's Only Medical. Go see what they could do for you, mensonlymedical.com. That is mensonlymedical.com. From hair loss solutions, expert cardiovascular health, all of it is with Men's Only Medical and Doc Al on North Dixie Highway. Tell them Riz sent you.
You think anybody's going to make a move for Giannis before the trade deadline?
I'm tired of Giannis. I'm tired of the Bucks. I'm tired of Giannis. They made all these moves to get bum Miles Turner and some Band-Aids to keep Giannis around. Giannis is tweeting. He's so happy that they made all these moves. He can't wait to stay in Milwaukee. Now he wants out. Now Giannis wants out. As Brian Windhorst said, the Bucks mortgaged the mortgage to buy the Ferrari to keep Giannis around, and now you got your pants down with barely any draft picks, barely any capital, and Giannis wants out. I'm down on the NBA tremendously. Down on the NBA tremendously.
Mike, you said they don't have draft picks, they don't have young players. Well, how do you fix that?
It's the league.
How do you fix
the league.
that? How
Christian,
do you fix that?
Christian,
you trade Giannis.
Young star wants out. You got to trade him, right?
Young star's
Under
31 years
contract,
old.
the young star
He's
wants
31 years
wants
old.
out. Sorry.
He signed 2
All right,
contracts
fine.
with
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
you got me there. All right,
He's 25.
You got me there. Fine, Colin, but still, he's one of the best players in the NBA. He wants out. Oh, God, we got to trade him. Got to trade him because he wants out.
It's the best move for the Bucks to trade him.
They got nothing.
Hence why you trade him.
Fine. But you're starting fresh and you're starting from square one. God, I wish you would have got rid of him in the summer. Wish we knew he wanted out in the summer. That's it. That's why I'm upset.
Him, you get picks and young players.
The players run that league.
The right
That's simple.
To trade him.
That's simple. Players run that league. It's a joke.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.